Yo, what is up guys? It's me exactly back bringing some more daily NBA news and highlights. Thank you as always for coming back. You guys are the real MVPs, but now let's just get into what we gotta talk about today. The first point that we have to talk about today is the one that Ben Simmons scored last night. Alright, so the Philadelphia 76ers failed to bounce back after their game 1 loss to the Celtics, as they now fall to 0-2 in this series, and they blew a 22-point lead that they had in the first half yesterday. But not only did they blow that 22-point lead, that was actually kind of overshadowed by the fact that Ben Simmons only scored 1 point. Just one point, one more point than the rest of you guys watching this video scored last night. And this performance from Ben Simmons has drawn him a lot of heat, a lot of backlash from the NBA community, from people questioning whether or not Jayson Tatum is a better player than Ben Simmons, to the Donovan Mitchell for Rookie of the Year crowd growing, and guys like Stephen A. Smith getting on Ben Simmons pretty heavily as well.
Well, first of all, you can't ignore what Ben Simmons didn't do. I mean, why bother to show up? I mean, that was just a disgraceful performance. This kid is a superstar in the making. I call him a jump shot away from being LeBron James Part 2. But to show up, not just to score just 1 point, to attempt 2 shots in 30 minutes, when you have the ball in your hands, you're a point guard, you're 6'10", and you can't find a way to take more than 2 shots in 30 minutes, that's just disgraceful.
And look, there is no defense for how Ben Simmons played yesterday. There's nothing you can say to defend his performance. It was awful. I don't think in his entire career he will ever have another performance as bad as the one he had yesterday. It would be extremely hard for him to get any worse than he was yesterday. And a lot of people are giving credit to the Boston Celtics and Brad Stevens and the defensive schemes they employed on Ben Simmons last night as to why he had such a bad game. They were exposing Ben Simmons for his lack of a jump shot. But Ben Simmons, after the game yesterday, said it had nothing to do with how the Celtics were defending him, but more of how he was getting in his own way. He was overthinking the game and wasn't playing freely like he typically does.
Ben, Ian Begley, ESPN.com. What do you think led to that? So you just kind of assessed your own game. What do you think led to that?
Mental, just thinking too much.
I mean, that seems like it's a rare thing for you. Is that?
That's the thing. You know, I'm gonna have bad games. It happens. Obviously, it's not the perfect timing, but you head home now. We got 2 home games that we need to take care of and handle business. We have the team to do it, the coaching stuff, and just gotta go do it.
And he later went on to say that he doesn't even think the Celtics are defending him as well as the Miami Heat were defending him in the first round. That the Heat were a lot more physical when it came to defending him.
You talked about the Boston's game plan against you. It looked like, especially Marcus Morris, very physical with you out there. Did that have an effect on you tonight?
No. I think first series, they have nothing. You know, the Heat, the way the Heat played was nothing compared to Celtics. Physically, the Heat, you know, were on another level. But yeah, I think it was self-inflicted for myself, personally, for my own game.
First of all, the first thing I have to say about all of this is the people who are saying Ben Simmons is overrated or are really going overboard with the critiquing of Ben Simmons after this one terrible game, you need to tone it down a little bit, all right? You need to tone it down a little bit. One bad game does not degrade the entire body of work that Ben Simmons has been able to put together in his career so far. You can't name a single player alive or who has ever existed that didn't have at least one terrible game like Ben Simmons had yesterday. That player doesn't exist. So Ben Simmons is still a fantastic player even though he had a bad game yesterday. He's human, all right? That being said, Ben Simmons in game 3, you have to come out and you gotta dominate. There's nothing else you can do. See, NBA fans or people in general have pretty short memories. When they see something like this, they're gonna think negatively of you unless you change their mind. And it's up to you now to change their mind. Moving on to the next topic though, Philadelphia 76ers legend Julius Erving. I think he might be pretty salty that the Sixers opted to draft Markelle Fultz over Jayson Tatum. Actually, I don't even think he might be kind of salty. I know that Dr. J is salty that Jayson Tatum is not a Philadelphia 76er. As yesterday, he came out and said that Jayson Tatum should have been the #1 overall pick of the 2017 NBA draft. Tatum probably should have been the first pick of the draft. He was there. I guess it was all about the fit. We took Fultz. Philly took Fultz. Obviously, his rookie year, I think he'll be a rookie again next year, sort of like Ben Simmons because of all the injuries. Well, Fultz won't be a rookie next year because by the way the NBA defines a rookie, even if you log 15 seconds during your rookie season, you won't be considered a rookie by next season. Just as Julius Randle, who played like 8 minutes his rookie year, then went down with a season-ending injury and wasn't considered a rookie the very next year. As for selecting Jayson Tatum over Markelle Fultz, I mean, I can't be mad at him for saying that. I mean, you look at Jayson Tatum's all-around game, the type of player he is, and you think about that player being on the Philadelphia 76ers. If you're talking about a perfect fit, Jayson Tatum would be the perfect fit for the Philadelphia 76ers. If they had a long, athletic, scoring wing, was already an above-average defender as well, I mean, sheesh, the Philadelphia 76ers wouldn't have had to worry about trying to go out and find more talent for the next 15 years easily. But Markelle Fultz was also told about Dr. J's comments, and this was his response to what Julius Erving said yesterday. I proved why I should be the #1 pick in college, and they drafted me as the #1 pick. Now I'm here, and all I can do is keep moving from here. That's all it is. So, you know, hindsight is 2020. Coming into the NBA draft, no one was saying that Jayson Tatum should be selected over Markelle Fultz. There was no one saying that Jayson Tatum should have been the #1 pick of the draft coming into the draft. Markelle Fultz on every board. Everyone's having Markelle Fultz going #1, whether it was to the Boston Celtics before they traded to Philly or whatever was going to happen in the NBA draft. Markelle Fultz was a consensus #1 overall pick, so you cannot fault the Philadelphia 76ers for picking Markelle Fultz over Jayson Tatum. Once again, hindsight is 2020, and if we're talking about redoing the NBA draft and who the #1 pick should be, I'd be surprised if the draft was redone and teams knowing what they knew now didn't take Donovan Mitchell with that #1 overall pick. You had one job, Toronto, just one job. Put up a fight and don't get bullied by LeBron James. That's all you had to do, and you're failing at it. So after the Cavs managed to steal game 1 against the Raptors, they came out and did the exact same thing in game 2 against the Raptors, except in a much more dominating fashion. They were getting beat so badly by LeBron James that everyone started calling the Toronto Raptors the LeBronto Raptors now. That's their new name, the LeBronto Raptors. LeBron James in this game was doing target practice against you guys, taking ridiculously hard turnaround, fadeaway, high arcing jumpers during the entire second half. Each one he took was a higher degree of difficulty than the last one that he took, and it wasn't the Raptors defense that was forcing him to take those tough shots. No, he was opting to take those tough shots. It was by choice. The man was toying with the entire country, and yes, I said country, of Toronto. This was so bad and honestly painful to watch. As a fan, it started off entertaining, like, I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. This man LeBron out here going crazy. Well, eventually, I just wanted it to end, like, stop, LeBron. That's enough. You proved your point. It was as if LeBron James was trying to send a message to everyone to never, even for a second, let ourselves think that the Raptors will even have a shot of beating him in the playoffs. And LeBron, the message has been well received. Trust me, it will never happen again. And after the game though, he continued taking shots, and this one was the lowest key of shots at the entire Toronto Raptors. As he was asked about, matchup problems and about a certain play in which he had an advantage over the defender. It was a mismatch for the defender trying to guard LeBron James, and LeBron responded by saying, which one?
Quick on a totally different subject. Kevin said at shoot around today, you sort of called your shot with the turnaround right and the turnaround left that you knew you were going to get. How did you know you were going to get that mismatch? How did you know that was coming?
Which one?
He basically said the entire country of Toronto is a mismatch when it comes to trying to defend him. That's tough. Anyway, sticking with what players were saying after that game, DeMar DeRozan said something which I found pretty interesting. Now that they're down 0-2, DeMar DeRozan says the Raptors will start to thrive because, the Raptors thrive in the face of adversity, and that's according to DeMar DeRozan.
You guys came into this series thinking that Cleveland was vulnerable and things were different. After these 2 games, what do you tell yourselves about yourselves as a team that allows you to believe that this can still happen in this series?
I mean, we thrive off adversity. every single guy on this team. We thrive off adversity.
Is he serious? I was rooting for the Raptors to prove people wrong in this series, even if they weren't able to beat LeBron James, as long as they put up a fight just as good as the one that the Indiana Pacers put up in round 1, where they took the Cavs to 7 games and never backed down even for a single second. I would have been pleased with what I was seeing from the Toronto Raptors, because it would mean that LeBron James isn't single-handedly, you know, having a mental grasp on Toronto Raptors, and that they're capable of putting up a fight against LeBron James. But now, after the Raptors done let the Cleveland Cavaliers take the first 2 games of this series at the Toronto Raptors place in the country of Toronto, I mean, do we have to lower the bar? Is it just don't get swept now, Toronto? At least win 1 game? Is that the most we can ask out of the Toronto Raptors at this point? And as for him saying that they thrive in the face of adversity, I don't even need to say much about that. I mean, the whole reason we talk about the Raptors like this, the whole reason the Raptors have this stigma, is because they do not thrive in the face of adversity, and actually do the opposite of thriving in the face of adversity, and LeBron James is that exact face of adversity. Lastly, the New York Knicks just decided to hire Dave Fizdale, aka Mr. Take That for Data, as their head coach, which was well received by the NBA community. I don't think anyone thinks this was a bad sign. We all love David Fizdale, mainly because he has the backing of Dwayne Wade and LeBron James, and of course his whole infamous Take That for Data speech, which every single one of us, which is that was our coach, who would say something like that. But, you know, good job on New York for signing David Fizdale. However, now this is where the conspiracy theorists are having a field day, because we all knew any team that was going to sign David Fizdale would automatically be linked to LeBron James. And then since it's New York, a team that's always supposed to be linked to LeBron James, that LeBron James will want to play with, you're gonna have articles coming out saying the Knicks hiring David Fizdale was their attempt to lure LeBron James in during free agency. And these are going to be the same reports that are saying that Kawhi Leonard is going to get traded to the New York Knicks. So just brace yourself for more and more of these type of things to come out over the following weeks and couple of months. People are going to be saying where the Knicks are going to trade for Kawhi Leonard, and then once they do that, LeBron James is going to join them in free agency. That's going to be the storyline until it doesn't happen, because that's not happening. I mean, come on, people. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to smack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on more daily NBA videos. We're so close to 160k subscribers. Let's see if we can get there like today. Anyways, new game of my app SportsQ is going live tonight, so make sure to check that out by looking at the description box below. But once again, thank you for watching the video. I'll see all of you right back here tomorrow. But until then, keep getting the buckets, Team SDC, and I'm out of here. Peace.